All right. As you can see up on the projector there, it gives you a little bit of my history. I don't want to go too deep into that because it's not about me, it's about you guys. The one thing I will tell you is I am a lifelong learner, and no matter what, I will never stop growing. That's the thing I will tell you about that. And if you have any questions about my resume, you can ask me later. All right, we have a couple rules for engagement. The first thing we're going to do is learn our attention exercise. I'm going to say one clap, and then everybody's going to clap once. And then I'm going to say two claps, and everyone's going to clap twice. One clap, two claps. All right, so that was a little weak that time. We're going to try it again in a little bit, okay? And hopefully next time, I'm just going to spring it on you. When I do next time, I hope you guys get it. You guys see the other rules of engagement here. You have to have an open mind. I understand you being here is the beginning of that. That means you want to grow. So while we're talking, make sure that you have an open mind. Think about the big picture. It's not just, I don't want you to think small. I want you to broaden it out. See a bigger picture, a bigger framework. Stay engaged. We're going to do some interactions. I know y'all been sitting here all day. Y'all been getting talked to. And I appreciate y'all for listening and not falling asleep. I was in the back watching. Now it's going to be you guys' turn. We're going to hear your voices. We're going to talk about your issues and what things you want to see changed. Agree to disagree? We come from how many different backgrounds? A lot, right? So our perspectives are going to be different. The important thing is that we agree to disagree. Let's do better than the rest of our society does. In this room, we'll learn how to do that right, okay? And lastly, ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you won't get answers. And today, we're going to plant some seeds that long after I'm gone off this planet, you guys will help grow. That's the point of being here today, okay? All right, now, this picture, some of you have seen it as a meme, right? The red pill and the blue pill. Well, we're going to tell you a story behind it. So, in 1999, the movie, who's seen The Matrix? Raise your hand. If you haven't seen it, I suggest that you go watch it. I'm not going to spoil it. Well, maybe a little bit, but by the end, you'll be okay with it. So, in The Matrix, there's this young man named Neo. He's a computer programmer during the day, and at night, he's a computer hacker. That's right. Legal during the day, illegal at night. Neo starts receiving these messages, weird ones on his computer, and he's like, what is going on here? And then all of a sudden, he meets a man named Morpheus. Now, this Morpheus is this character we don't know everything about, yet he's mysterious. And he asks Neo, do you want to learn the truth? And he presents Neo with the two pills. If you take the red pill, your life will change forever. If you take the blue pill, it'll go back to normal. You'll go back to what you were doing. Now, Neo, being the adventurous type that he is, he decides to take the red pill. Takes the pill, things start changing and morphing, and all of a sudden he wakes up and he realizes, after Morpheus talks to him, that he was in what's called the Matrix, a simulation that was created by AI to control humans and keep them in a stable place. And then the AI built these robots, and then the humans fought with the AI, and there was a crash of the world, and the environment went to crap, and the humans had to go underground, and the AI was in charge. And the AI would hunt the humans down and use them for batteries. Okay, I just told you a story. I left it wide open because I want you just to think about how that story ends for you, okay? And if you haven't seen the movie, make sure you go and see it. Now, this is our first piece. We're going to ask some questions to the audience here. What's something that you guys have seen on TikTok, YouTube, Hulu? I don't care. What is something that you've seen that really stuck to you? You couldn't stop thinking about it. Raise your hand. Somebody. Right here. What you got?
I saw a documentary where tiny woodland animals could communicate interspecies.
A documentary where tiny woodland animals could communicate interspecies. That's pretty interesting. Anybody else? Now, I know for a fact that you have things you're addicted to. There's memes that you love. There's videos that you watch. On YouTube, there's stuff. So somebody else, give me an example. Lincoln Lutheran, one of you, give me an example. Go ahead.
The Charlie Kirk shooting.
The Charlie Kirk shooting. That's something that attracted everyone's attention. Everybody was focused on it. Go ahead.
I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou.
I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. That's a classic, too. That's a very good option right there. Anyone else? No? Hopefully by the end of this conversation, you'll have one. Go ahead.
The children's book and movie, The Wild Robot.
Okay. I haven't seen that yet. I need to see it. I've heard it's really good. It's on my list to see. That's good. That's good. Good. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about me just for a second, and then we're going to do a couple exercises where we will give you an opportunity to talk about a problem and then tell a story. So I started at Northeast 4 years ago. I took over the after-school programming. At Northeast is in what we call a food desert. Anybody know what a food desert is? Raise your hand if you know what a food desert is. Well, if you don't know what a food desert is, it means that there is no nutritional food within walking distance to the students in that neighborhood, meaning there's no grocery store for them to go to. They got to walk 2 miles to get to the closest grocery store. That's what a food desert is. So those students in the Northeast area, they don't get the same nutritional opportunities that students do in other areas. So when you have a student population that is about 70% free or reduced lunch, it's important that you supplement what they're not getting at home by providing that for them. So when I took over, they had this community garden, right? It was nice. It was not too big, but it was big enough. Kiwanis helped build some of the projects they had out there. So one of the problems, though, was at the end of the grow season, we would have baskets of tomatoes and peppers and all this other stuff, and we would tell the staff and we tell the community, come and get some of this stuff out of here. Come get it. It's free. Come take it. Some people would, but in the end, we'd find that we'd have about 20 to 30% that would just go rotten, that would not get picked up at all. And to me, that's a problem. Is that sustainable for me? No, it's not. We can do better. So, with that in mind, we decided to make the garden part of a full system, a full ecosystem, meaning that a student will grow the food, they'll plant, figure out what they want, they will grow it, they will harvest it, then they will turn it into garden salsa, which they will redistribute to the neighborhood and to the community. The staff at the school purchase the salsa, and then the kids take the proceeds from what they sold, and they do it all over again the next year. That seems a little bit more sustainable to me, right? Now, what it also does, it teaches you entrepreneurship. You're learning how to grow stuff, and you got a recipe under your belt. Every one of you should be able to make salsa. One of the easiest things you can make. You should have that recipe on your belt. And you can grow every single thing that you need for your salsa in your garden, okay? As you can see, students caught on to it, and they took to it. We had garden towers. We had a community garden. We have a piece of equipment called a farm bot. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but a farm bot is a fully self-sufficient robotic farming system. It will plant it, it will weed it, it will water it, and it will harvest it. You just tell it what to grow. So the kids got an opportunity to do that. To me, I saw a problem. I told a story to the people in charge. They gave me the money to come up with a solution. Okay, there's a running underlying theme that I'm going to get to with this. All right. None of the programs that I did, as you can see, started with just money and technology. It all starts with a story. Each one of you have a story. You may think your story's boring, or you may think that no one else wants to hear your story. But that's a you problem. Because I promise you, people want to hear from you. They want to hear your stories more than they want to hear mine. I can tell you that much. So, What if students could learn through agriculture? What if they could be self-sufficient? What if students could learn how to build a garden, maintain it, and then reap the rewards from that garden? What if? What if? All right, now I'm gonna flip the script on you. Like I said before, what's one what if in your life? Every single one of you has showed concern about something in our world. Otherwise, you would not be here. You would be in your classes at your schools falling asleep. So, think to yourself, what if? Storytelling, that's your tool. You find a problem, you tell a story, and then you engage to find solutions. So Jamie Cassup is one of the founders of the Chromebook, and so many of you guys are using Chromebook. This guy worked for Google for 20 years, and he built a Chromebook. I had an opportunity to meet with him, and I asked him, what do you want students to be able to do if they come work for Google? He said 2 things. I need students to be problem solvers, and I need them to be storytellers. Tell a story and solve a problem. All of you have that ability. You know how I know you have that ability? I've seen Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. You're telling stories on there already, but you're not really telling good ones. I mean, I'm being honest. Everybody can do these dance moves that I'll be doing on there. Come on, we got to step it up. But you still are telling stories, okay? Identify the problem, frame it as a story that matters, and inspire change. Remember this formula. This applies to every single thing you do in life. So as a rule of thumb in my household, my kids are all grown now, but as a rule of thumb, my kids would ask me to do something. My first response automatically was no. I don't know how many of you guys got parents that are like that. No, no matter what, automatically no. Well, that was me. But I taught my kids, if you really want something badly, learn how to explain it to me. Then the kids start explaining to me what they want to do and why they want to do it. And they get a yes from me. That's how you get to yes. Okay. We're going to try it now here. Let's see here. We can do it by table. It doesn't have to necessarily be by person. If you guys want to just buddy up at a table, you can, though. I want you to find a partner. I want you to tell that partner a problem that you find in society, something that has to do with our environment. It could be big or small, it does not matter. Something to do with your school or your community, something that concerns you, okay? And then I want that partner to be prepared to tell a story. So you're going to tell them the problem. And then they're going to tell the story. They're going to take what you say to them and reword it so it's a creative story. Can we do that? Yes? 1 clap, 2 claps. We gotta get we still gotta get better. I'm gonna get y'all next time. Y'all be crispier on the next one. All right, so we're gonna take a few minutes to do this. I'm gonna give you about 2 to 3 minutes. So we don't need 2 stories, we just need 1. Work together. Tell the problem to your partner and have your partner formulate that story. Ready? Go. Okay. 1 clap, 2 claps. All right, a little bit better. It's like, and I tried to get y'all because you were talking, and I thought I could slid it in there, but you guys, you're paying attention. You're starting to get it. You're starting to get it. Okay. Before we go, who's ready to tell a story? Raise your hand. Be confident. Don't worry. This is where we practice right here. You're practicing right here. All right, here we go. Here we go. First of all, have the person that had the problem state the problem. What's the problem?
The problem is AI-generated images.
Ooh, that's a problem. Okay, tell the story.
So there's this whole building of machines. And so I don't know what amount, but if you generate an image from AI, it will overheat the machine, and then water is used to cool down that machine. And so basically, AI generated images are wasting water to cool down those overheating machines.
Very good. We're talking about data centers, is what she's talking about. Very good. So let's get one more example here. Someone else, give me an example. You were talking. Who's got something? Who's got something on this side of the room? Lincoln Lutheran. I pumped you up. Come on, man. Let's go. What y'all got? And I will show up to the school. And I will be like, oh, these Lincoln Lutheran kids got to do better. What you got? All right, here we go.
Okay, so we said like people disagreeing with each other.
The story is like all the time you see on the news and like all the stuff when people are disagreeing in disrespectful ways, and not agreeing with each other is okay, but not agreeing with each other and being disrespectful about it is not okay.
Okay, there you go. So I want you to think for a second. Which one of those sounded better? When you just say a problem, or when you paint a picture with the story? When you paint a picture with the story, you're going far beyond just talking about a problem in logical terms. When you paint that picture to tell a story, now you're tapping into people's emotions. That's where you get action, when you tap into those emotions. All right, now you get to put your big thinking caps on. This is the 2040 challenge. How many years from now is that? 50. Look, an older gentleman will always know. I'm here to tell you. So, 15 years from now, what is it going to look like on this planet? Now, you've been hearing about this stuff all day, right? You guys have been talking about climate change and soil erosion and all these other things. I want you to paint the picture in your mind. What concerns you the most about 2020 or 2040? Okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make bigger groups this time. This is one group. This whole section. This section is a group. So you're going to have to move together. This section is a group, and this section is a group. Okay? I want you to look up at the board here. These are just a few of the issues that your generation and your kids' generations are going to have to face. I remember somebody said something about the data center and water usage. You know, the local data center uses about 450,000 gallons per day. I think they use about 17 billion gallons of water per year for our data centers, and we haven't even started making these supercomputer data centers yet. These are just for regular computers, not quantum computers, right? And that's coming. What else we got? Recycling versus overconsumption. I feel like that's almost self-explanatory. We're buying way too much stuff and we don't have nowhere to put it. AI and energy demands, somebody talked about that. Climate migration, I was talking in the hallway about that earlier. Climate migration is already occurring, okay? You could just look at hurricane level events and how they force people to relocate out of different areas. But it will only get worse as time goes by. Food insecurity versus e-waste. What is going to be more important in the end? These are the questions. So, each one of you sections, take a look at the list up there. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to come together. You're going to have to figure out who is going to tell the story from your group. So somebody's going to have to speak up. And then you're going to get an opportunity to reframe these problems into a story that we can find a solution with. Is everybody clear on the instructions? 1 clap, 2 claps. Okay, I think you're clear. All right, so group up, get closer together so you can have a conversation, figure out which one of these you want to go after, and then create a story. You have about 5 minutes to do so. Do we have some good conversations? We tried? 1 clap, 2 claps. Okay. A little crispier that time. Okay, so it's okay if more than one group pick the same topic to tell the story on, because there may be something that one group says the other one doesn't say, or an angle that they didn't get to that one group did. So we're going to start with this section right here. Who's my storyteller for this section right here? There it is.
Water is the most essential element for life. The human body is made up of 60% water. We're already seeing disputes over water access in countries across the globe. And I believe that it is the common denominator for all the problems that we see currently in our modern world, whether that means consumption from AI. Food security is based on how much water we can provide for those crops, for that agricultural success. Climate migration is impacting how our water cycle works. It's just the common denominator for all of our problems. And I think by 2040, it will be our biggest problem, and it will be how the world ultimately will come to an end, is access to water.
Okay, thank you. So when you heard that story, how did that make you feel? So, did it make you feel concerned? A little heightened anxiety? Maybe you're saying to yourself, "Ooh, man, that's doom and gloom," right? But take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. Because it is not doom and gloom. It's not the end of the world. We are here to make solutions. Who is my speaker? Who is my storyteller right here? All right. Craft us a story.
Hello? All right. So biodiversity is something that we see everywhere we go. And it's something that impacts not only humans, but all creatures. Like, we don't need to just eat food, we need to eat a variety of food. This leads to, but unfortunately, as our current farming majority, prioritizes monoculture, prioritizes only pushing out a couple crops because that's the most profitable, because that will have the most yield. That is leading, unfortunately, to a lot of climate migration, because people do not have access to the same resources that they used to have in regards to wildlife, and especially in regards to just like native plants.
Here we go. So, come on. So, you all should have picked up a key point. Each speaker, storyteller, there are key points that they're making, right? And each person might key in on, you might focus on something different than someone else is, right? And that's okay. The point is that story provides you an opportunity to see a different lens than what you're normally used to seeing. When you hear someone, you should have some empathy when you're listening for that problem. Okay, next section right here. Who's my storyteller? Ooh, she looks ready to go too. I love it. Tell us a story.
We talked about overconsumption, and I think in our culture and our generation, it's really common to be buying a lot of stuff very quickly and not really thinking about it. I think it's like a sort of universal experience to be on social media and see like hauls of like Shein or Temu and just people buying an unnecessary amount of clothing to just use really quickly and not really thinking about where that's going or where that's coming from. And it has such a detrimental effect on our planet and is contributing to so much waste and harming our natural resources. And overall, it's just polluting the environment so much and contributing to that waste and tons of clothing and other things and plastics just being integrated into the planet more, which is super dangerous.
There you go. So that should... The one piece that was brought up in that one that resonated with me was the use of plastics. So we are in an age of disposable clothing, right? It's not made the way it used to be. Things don't last as long as they used to last. The shoes that you buy, the leather's not even real leather anymore in a lot of cases. That disposable. Thank you guys for being here. So it's not even the same thing. But One of the things I noticed, ladies, yoga pants. What are yoga pants made of? Plastic. Think about it. It's plastic. Okay, last group. Who's the storyteller? Oh, tell us a story.
Okay, so we have AI and energy demand. So we kind of looked at two different kind of realms. There's the everyday where you kind of don't think about it. You go on Google, search up maybe a math answer for the students in the room. It still takes up a lot of energy, and it's very wasteful when you could use your head to think about it, or you could use other resources to find an answer. And then you have data centers, which those are also just massive amounts of resources being wasted. And one thing that we came up with could be offsetting the power used, and that comes with being accountable for what your data center is producing and what byproducts are happening because of the energy that you need. And kind of the elimination of AI is probably not going to happen because we're going into the future. And new solutions are needed, new technology, but that also means that we need to have new forms of non-renewable energy and things that we can offset it with. And if we collectively realize that impact, then we might be able to mitigate the effects.
So that water theme, that's one of the underlying themes, is that water deal. And as I was preparing for this, that was one of the pieces that really resonated with me, is the amount of water that's getting used by data centers. And then, because that water goes, we can't recycle that water or use it again. So we all use our phones, though. Right now, my phone is using water, because the data that's in my phone is stored in the cloud. Well, the cloud is really a data center, right? So you have to think about that. At some point in time, the decision is going to have to be made. What's more important, having water to drink or having the access to the devices in our hands? Okay. Did you hear a difference? Did it feel different when someone told it as a story than if someone just said, this is a problem? Right? If you don't get anything from today, what I want you to understand is the power of your ability to tell stories. Okay? If you don't get anything else from today, every movement that has ever occurred, everything that's happened in our society can be traced back to an inspiration, to a story. I'm going to challenge you. When you leave here, tell a story. What's concerning you? Tell stories about it. Write it down. Tell it on your social media. Are you afraid to tell people what you are concerned about? Are you afraid to express yourselves? I don't think so. You express yourselves every single day. Now it's time to make sure that expression has value. At least one. One of your 100 posts. For every 100 posts, you should have at least one that has some value, that can start that ripple effect. Any questions? I get this a lot. Go ahead and take a minute and think about it. Let me know if you have a question. No? What do I think is the biggest problem?
Yeah, what do you think is the biggest problem?
Is our inability to disagree. We don't know how to disagree. That's the biggest problem.
To
yes.
disagree?
Well, yeah.
Or to agree?
No, to disagree. Remember earlier I said we have to agree to disagree. That is our biggest issue. Somebody's going to say, water's an issue. I don't believe it. I don't agree with you. Somebody else is going to say, Waste is an issue. Ah! Do you see? Your ability to disagree is fine. Now get past it. Learn how to disagree, then get past it. Find a halfway point where you can agree on something, right? If two parties are all the way opposite, somebody got to be in the middle. Otherwise, we never go anywhere. That's what keeps us from moving forward, is we don't know how to disagree. Any other questions? Anything? Well, once again, my name is Kwame Gyamfi. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that's here today. And I implore you, if you don't learn anything else from today, learn how to tell a story. Thank you.